Hello lovely friends, how are you all doing? I hope you're well. I'm back in the garden. So, got myself a bit warm and flush of cheek getting down here today. It was a bit of a to get down here because you can't see them, they're parked in the corner. Ages ago, I don't even remember when it was, 3 years ago, I smashed one of the panels in my cold frame. Oh my goodness, it gave me a right... Can you hear the wind and my gym chimes? Yeah, this is like one of my plot buddies was asking me about her skinny leaks. Digressing already. Yeah, 3-4 years ago, I was strimming and, it just goes to show, I flicked up the tiniest stone and it flicked onto my cold frame on the side. And in this split second, it was crazy. It was like it was in slow motion, like a cartoon. The whole panel crazed. It did this kind of, it just went crazed over and then all fell. Oh my goodness, the noise of it. God, it went through there like a bullet. It really gave me the heebie-jeebies and made me think about my eyes. Anyway, because of that, I had some perspex cut and replaced the glass pane. Fine. Then, the next year, really odd, it was really, really weird. One of the panes in the top, it had been a really lovely day. It must have been about May, because the cold frame was full of seedlings and things I'd brought on from home, and they were in there hardening off. So during the day when I'm here in May, it can get really quite warm. I mean, the air temperature is warm, but the sun through the glass, it gets really warm there. So I open the top, I open all the side windows, let them get some good air, and then depending on how the nighttime temperatures are looking, I probably close all the side windows, and I may leave one of the top windows open a crack or whatever. Anyway, it was the end of a session, getting ready to go, and I thought I'd better close the window on the top. And they have these little sort of plastic sort of handles that I can move it by. And I literally I put my hand to the little plastic handle, no pressure, I wasn't leaning on it. And as I touched the handle, the whole pane did the same thing, shattered, boom, dropped onto all my seedlings. So on that occasion, I ordered, I went online, I found a company online to have the perspex cut to size. Did my order, and I ordered 2 pieces because I thought, it's not necessarily that I'm particularly clumsy, and on that occasion moving the handle, it really wasn't clumsiness. Anyway, the long and the short was, they accidentally sent me 3 pieces. I emailed them to say, you've sent me 3 pieces, I really don't want 3 pieces, I can't afford 3 pieces, I'm so sorry. Can you send me a return label? I'll send it back. And they said, don't bother, keep it. It's our mistake. Which is great, thank you very much. So I've got 2 spares, which I'll cut the perfect size for. The panes on the side and the panes in the top are identical size, mix and match. So I've got 2 spare panes, and they've been sitting in my flat for, 3 years now? I mean, they're not particularly in the way, they're at the top of my stairs, but they're just like in my eye line, and because I've been thinking about I need to decorate in the hallway, right, I need to clear the hallway out. So I've brought them down today. Anyway, that's why it's my long roundabout way of being like, I've arrived a bit hot and puffed and what have you. Now, change of plan today. So today was supposed to be horse poo delivery, and I thought that would kill me, so I'll plan after that to do something nice and gentle, start in the herb bed. However, the horse poo delivery has been stalled. See what I did there? Horse poo stalled. Nay! Nay, it's a bad joke, lass. Yeah, I can't get it today. And it looked for a moment like there might be none that I could get. The lady we get it from, she's down to the last dregs. So, we did have a mass delivered last Sunday. I think there were 4 or 5 like masses and masses and masses were delivered on Sunday. Loads of plot holders down here. They'd all ordered either a full load, a half load, or a quarter load. and so the note's still up on our composting loo, how much everyone's getting, and there's a tick next to their name when they've taken it, when they've paid, all that sort of thing. But I completely missed out on it. Now, there is a pile of dregs left there. There's probably about 2 or 3 barrows worth. And Catherine, who'd organised it all for the Sunday, messaged me on Sunday night to say, do you want some of the dregs? I'll leave you to fight it out with everyone else. And I was like, okay, thanks for offering me the dregs. I don't really want to fight it out with other people. I can't get down there right now. Why wasn't I in the loop feeling left out? Because I'd said a few weeks ago, I really want some of the next batch of horse poo. I knew I was going to have the lavender bags to sell and using some of the money from the lavender bags, because a half load is 30 quid. It's a lot of money for me to spend on the garden. I try and do it all for nothing. Anyway, I was a bit like, oh, I got left out. But it's quite funny because what had happened was they'd done it all in a WhatsApp group. And of course I'm not in the WhatsApp group because I don't have a smartphone. And then someone had said, oh, what about Vivi? She's not in the group. So Catherine had emailed me to say, we're going to be getting a delivery of horse poo on such and such a date. How much would you like? Full load, half load, quarter load, here's the prices. But she's got another friend called Vivienne. The French spelling Vivienne, whereas I'm Vivienne, the anglicised version of the French name. But no one calls me Vivienne. Vivienne, that's the name your teacher, well, my teachers would say when they're cross, or my mum, Vivienne. It's always your full name, isn't it, when someone's cross with you? Anywho, how, way, which, up. So she'd accidentally sent the email about the horse poo to her friend Vivienne. Her friend Vivienne is a belly dancer. Belly, not ballet, belly. Or I don't know how they do, whatever. And it just made me chuckle. I felt grumpy and ticked off that I'd been missed out, but then I was laughing because the idea of this belly dancer getting a random email saying, do you want some horse poo this weekend? What's a belly dancer going to do with horse poo? Anyway, yeah, long story. I never managed to make it short. So there's still a little bit of drags, but I've just heard. So today was supposed to be the day for another full delivery. I'm going to have a half load and someone else is going to have a half load. Then I got messaged late last night to say they can't do tomorrow. It's possible that there's going to be none left. And I was obviously disappointed, but I thought, okay, I might get 2 barrow loads out of the dregs. And then literally just as I was putting my key in the gate, I got another text to say, yay, we can do a half load for you, but next week. So because of that, I've decided I won't take any of the dregs, because I think Sheena and another of the women 2 down from me, I think they would like some. So I won't take any, they can have that. And just hope that Monday happens. I think it's Monday now for my half load. And also the idea of having my own separate load delivered away, because on Sunday there were so many people getting their loads. And the last time we did it, they were done in 1 hour slots. So I think I was in the 12 o'clock slot for my quarter load, which worked out at 5 barrows. And then the next load was arriving 1 hour later. It actually took me 1 hour and 10 minutes to clear my 5 barrow loads, to get it into the barrows and then bring it back to the plot. I'm just so slow with my walking. And I was really concerned that if I got a half load, which will be 10 barrows, it's going to exponentially get even longer, not just double, but longer than that, because I'll have to take a bit of a break. So I think it's going to probably take me 3 hours to do 10 barrow loads. So it's great that I'll have my own little private time slot where I'm not going to be holding anyone else up. I'm not going to be in anyone's way. If it gets too much after 3 or 4 loads, I can just sit. Yeah, so horse poo stalled. I was going to say stabled. That wouldn't make sense. But also, in some ways, it's a good thing because I want to put it onto the beds where it's going to be going. What I don't want to do is bring it onto the plot and put it all on one bed, just on one bed, and then as I get the beds uncovered that it's going to go on, then have to cart it again from one bed to another. You know, I'm just making more work for myself. So, you know, it's kind of worked out okay. What that means is today I can prepare the beds that are going to receive those loads. And I think if it's going to be 3 loads, I think it'll be 3 barrowfuls per bed. So that'll be 3 beds will be 9 loads, so 3 in one bit of a bed. So yeah, it gives me a chance to get those beds ready so I can dump and spread it out a bit, and then essentially that bed is done. Yay! So that's what I'm going to get on with right now. Let's go to the first bed, and I think in the first bed I'm going to look at, the main thing will be to get out any weeds. There's a little bit of the old vine detritus on the top, so just get that off. Weeds out, I don't want to leave weeds in. And then what else might I do by way? And then 1 of 2. I'll try and get at least 1 done. What I'll aim for today is to do 3 beds, and that will be 3 barrow loads each. That will be 9 barrow loads, which will be nearly all of my order. If I've got time, I'll start on the extra bed. But 2 of those beds are bare. I didn't get them covered this winter, it just didn't happen. 1 of them is covered, so I need to uncover it, get all the bricks and stuff out of the way. Like I showed you in the tour video, get all those bits out of the way and just check, again, it's weeding. Because I don't want to start a brand new bed for the year that's full of weeds already. So come on, let's go and put a fork in the ground. And the other thing with the 2, sorry, we'll get out there now, I promise. The other thing with the 2 beds that were exposed all winter, they might have got a bit compacted. So by getting the weeds out, hopefully I can break up any compaction. I don't know what to wear. I don't know whether to take I've got a cardigan underneath. I think I'll take it off because I think I'll get quite warm. We are getting little swirls of wind. I hope it's not going to bother the sound too much, but we won't know until we get out there and give it a go. Come on, I'll soon get warm. Yeah, I'm going to get really warm today. That's all the old squash vines. Setting those aside. They're all dry now, but I'm just setting them aside for the minute so that I can sit outside the shed and chop them up a bit, help them compost. Now, before I put anything on this bed, the horse muck, I just want to make sure that it's weeded. It's not too bad. Amazingly, I've left the roots there. My beds are always less weedy than the paths. I think probably because over time they've just had really meticulous, is it too windy today? Over time they've had really meticulous attention, the beds. Don't be tempted to just pull at the tops of them. A lot of these weeds, especially these grasses, you pull the top off, leave the roots down there, they just grow back. And for all that time that you've spent bent over and doing your weeding, absolute waste of time. Oh, that's a long one. And while I'm at it, a bit of bindweed. I think it's nigh on impossible to completely eradicate bindweed. However, you know, I keep at it, and I think it does weaken it, and when it comes back, it tends to come back. It's just a bit less rampant. But my goodness, I do hate this stuff. Ugh. Look at this great clod of grass that has seeded itself. I'm not really doing anything by way of digging in this bed. You know, I'm not sort of getting right down there, bringing the soil up, flipping it over, all that. But just by getting these weeds out, it will just help to, if there's any compaction on the surface, just break that a little bit. Give the worms half a chance to come up and enjoy the horse poo. Yum yum. And while I'm here, if I can tease it out. Oh, no. I was going to say I'm going to have these few out that are in the path next to it. It's that thing of while I'm doing a bed, do a path at the same time. And before I know it, all the beds and all the paths will be done. And then it'll be time to start doing them all over again. But because the ground is so compact in the paths, obviously from me walking on them, it's rare that I can get a weed out just by sort of tugging and teasing. So that's when my hori knife really comes into its own. I've shown you my hori knife before, but because it's got that sort of point, really pronounced point to it, I really can get it down into this clay soil. Now there's something growing here that I don't even know what it is. Let me get it out to show you. There's a big one there. Goodness knows where these weeds appear from. They blow in, the birds poop them in. This, what is this? It's got a long tap root. I'm sure one of you will know. What's this? It's probably one of those that the leaves almost look like the leaves on a spider plant. It's probably one of those that folk have in their garden on purpose as a decorative thing. Or is it? I can't smell anything. Is it the self-sufficiency? No. I can't say it. Anyway, it's out. I don't want it in there. Yes, let's just carry on and get on. I can't see some of the weeds from my grass clippings. You know, oh, excuse me sniffing. It's the perfect weather for this kind of work today. I'm just looking at all the stones under there that want to have out of the potato bed. Yeah, it's the perfect sort of weather today because the sun's gone in a bit. I mean, it's still light today. There's no rain. There is a bit of wind that's picking up from time to time, which might annoy us for sound. But it's mild enough to be pleasant, but not warm to be bothersome. And it's not cold enough to be bothersome. In all honesty, we've had a really, oh, here comes the wind. It's been a really mild winter, annoyingly. We want the bugs killed. when you're doing your weeding, do take time to observe what you're handling and what you're dealing with. So this one is just sitting low to the surface of the soil like that. Doesn't look much, but then look at the length of its root, all the way down. What's that? 8-9 inches. So the thing is, if you were to try and pull that out, the chances are, you know, you'd be sort of snapping it off round about here. Yeah, get down, get the whole thing out. Right, I'm going to carry on with this because it's going to be boring for you to watch, and then bring you back when I'm done. That's the weeds out of the bed. Oh, it's getting a bit chilly again. Every time the wind blows through, it does feel quite chilly. Anyway, yeah, just going to quickly weed this part now. Now, just on the subject of weeding, I mean, I know there are loads of people who absolutely hate weeding, but I also happen to know a lot of people who love it, and you know what, I'm sort of somewhere in between. My hair's blowing now as well. Certainly on a warm day in the summer when there's nothing else needs doing in the garden, I quite happily sit down on the edge of my paths, sit cross-legged. I know people don't understand how I can do that with my knees, but it's actually comfy. But yeah, quietly just doing my hand weeding, and I love it. It's a chance to be really close up with the soil and all the life that's down there, close up with my plants. So I actually quite enjoy it. I think when I don't enjoy it, it's at the times, like, in a way, sort of like today, where I feel like there's so much I need to be getting on with, I don't have time for weeding. And of course it feels like it's taking forever, doesn't it? It's sort of like going one small patch at a time. But like I said, it's worth it. It's worth it to do it carefully and thoroughly. That's what I meant about my hurry now. Yeah, it's worth it, especially at this time of year, because they're really starting to come on now, and before we know it, they'll produce their flower heads. The flower heads will become seed heads, and the seeds will blow everywhere. So yes, it may seem like not the most important job to be getting on with at the moment, but in the long run it kind of is one of the important jobs, because doing all of this now will hopefully save a whole heap of misery later down the line in the summer. I mean, it won't save it completely. They're going to blow in from elsewhere, but you know, it'll definitely make it less of a task come the summer. So I want to try and be quick sticks about this. I don't want to sit still too much today because it is chilly. Get this path done, get this bed done, then get the barret out, because then all those bricks need to be taken off and moved. Oh, I would normally stack them on my deck. I have to make room to stack the bricks on my deck. It's the game of Tetris again, isn't it? I want to move them, but in order to move them, I need to move things around on the deck to make sure there's room there to put them. But then the idea being, like I said at the top, will be that these 3 beds will be weed-free, the slightly compacted surface broken up a little bit. They will be ready to receive all that lovely muck. I really hope it can happen, especially if I don't take any of the dregs. Fingers crossed. It's not cold, it's just that wind, it goes through me. Right. Time for less chat, more work. Let me show you where I've got to so far, because another change of plan. Oh my goodness. So I've got those 2 beds done. I rather foolishly thought I might even start on this potato bed today. You see, I've put my string down just to guide me, but that's going to need a proper dig out in order to make trenches for the potatoes, and that's a job too far, because these 2, they've been a bit of an effort, but yay, they're done, and the paths, those 2 paths are weeded. I've just moved all the bricks and bits and pieces from here to the deck. That was a couple of barrow loads of bricks, all stored and stashed, ready for use later on. Great. The twiggy detritus, I've added that to the compost because my compost is quite busy with the ex-brassica leaves and things, so quite sort of green, wet stuff, so a good mix in. I was just about to start forking this bed because, I don't know, I haven't started. I'm not necessarily going to sort of give it as much of a go as that one because this has been covered, so maybe maybe it's not going to be as compact. Here's hoping. But I don't know if you can see over there that's my barrow and my shovel waiting, because I just had a text to say that neither Sheena nor the other lass are going to have any of that leftover that's currently sitting all the way over at the main gate, which amounts to a half load. So I've been told I can buy half of the half load, and there's another plotter coming down shortly who's buying the other half. So it's a quarter load, which is going to be about, I think, 5 barrows. And I've got to tell you, the thought of doing 5 barrows, remember, like I said last year, it took me an hour and a quarter to do 5 barrows, but that was after doing nothing else. So doing that now, after these, oh my goodness. Right, girding me loins, here I go. That's nearly killed me. Oh man, there's only 4 barrows. Oh, wow, that was a tough shift today. Let's see, how long? 3.5 hours today. An hour doing those 4 barrow loads. It doesn't look much, does it? A bit of weeding, a bit of moving muck. Oh man, that's killed me. But great. I'm glad that I changed my plan as soon as I got here in terms of let's get those beddies. I want my beddie buys. Let's get those beds ready to take the poo in a few days' time. I'm glad I started that job, because then they're ready for that muck that I've ended up getting today. And what was great is the guy who'd paid the woman who runs the stables, he was here today, so I was able to pay him for what I've had today. I just happen to have 15 quid cash in my purse. That's an almost never event, but anyway, so that's good, tick. I don't like owing anyone anything. So yeah, that's probably a bit more than I would want to do in one day. I'm definitely going to pay for it tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to go home just yet. No way. I need to sit. I've got brassica stalks to chop. But yeah, I had originally thought I might come back tomorrow, get on with the herb bed, what have you, but no. I think, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. That delivery is going to be in about 5 days, I think. So I can have a day away from the garden tomorrow. Needle and thread sewing. Actually, I've got all sorts of admin and paperwork to do. Then I can come back to the garden to that. Do you remember that third one I was showing you that I haven't tested yet to see if it's compact and if I need to fork it a bit? And then there's another one that's currently also covered in cardboard and wood and bricks, and there's a big metal mesh over it. So I need to uncover that to take these other loads. So hopefully I can do that in a couple of days' time, and it's a couple of days in advance of the other delivery of the poo, which means that I'll get a day, get those beds dug a bit, day off before the poo comes. Hopefully preserve these little leggies of mine. Good stuff. I'm glad that's done. I'm really glad that's done. And you know, it's one of those jobs. I'm glad I didn't know that that was going to happen today, that all of this was going to transpire, because if I'd known it in advance, I would have been dreading it. I would have been really dreading it. The prospect of doing those, getting those 2 beds cleared and dug a bit and carting poo, I would have really dreaded it and been worried about it. And so yeah, it's done. Yay. The herb bed isn't done. I don't mind that the herb bed isn't done, because frankly it's not my veg production, although it might have a couple in this year because I've got ideas, and also because, like I said the other day, most of it is sit down and it's not urgent. You know, if I didn't touch it for the whole year, it wouldn't be a disaster. If I didn't touch the beds for the whole year, it would be a disaster. Oh, oh, that really hurts. Right. I need to, I was going to say, get home and have myself an Epsom salts bath. I need to get home and have the Epsom salts bath, but I'm going to sit and do nothing. Oh no, I've got an idea. There is something I can do whilst I sit for half an hour before I try and get home. In this tin I've got some flower and herb seeds. So I might have a little look through, or do you know what else I might do? I might just lie on the bed in my shed and close my eyes for half an hour. Anyway, you don't need to know all that, do you? I'm going to turn the camera off. Therefore, I'm going to say cheerio to you all. Please stay well. Look after yourselves. If you've had a bit of a heavy day like me, really look after yourself with a nice Epsom salts bath, and then I will, after my bath, I will be icing my knees, which I hate, but it does help. So until the next time, bye for now, lovelies.